Welcome to TheoTrade. This is Don Kaufman. It's February 28th, 2024. Just about 15 minutes to go to the cash close here on this Wednesday afternoon. SPOOs are off by 14 handles, but what I'm looking at right now is that several of the Magnificent Seven have just hit critical levels. That and much more here on this TheoTrade evening video. Well, let's get right down to business and look at some of the price action in markets right now. So as I was saying, the S&Ps are down some 14, but NASDAQ taking a little bit of a hit. What you're going to find, though, is that there's actually, well, a confluence of events playing out right now, one of which I'm going to show you here momentarily, and that happens to deal with several of the Magnificent Seven stocks, right? Your beloved Nvidia, all right? A few others, they're at very critical levels. And with PCE data coming out tomorrow, right? Which is, let's not even worry about what PCE even is at this point. But it's going to really amp up volatility, specifically for tomorrow. So I'm going to tell you right now, get ready to rumble inside of this marketplace. All right, let's jump right to it. What is going on in some of the Magnificent Seven? Outside of the fact that the S&Ps are down a little bit today, but look, there's just not a lot of oomph to the sell side activity, right? There's nothing like, punching this marketplace substantially lower. Again, 14 points in the S&Ps is nothing. You start looking at the advanced decline line. The irony is like a 50-50 over here. But again, what's really playing out? Let's start with Apple. First of all, yeah, Apple had some decent sized news in the last couple of days, scrapping a car going with AI. Okay, one of the first things that I want to point out unequivocally, all right, that line right there is the $180 level. It's critical. A breach below it is possibly a significant move lower inside of Apple. Let's not forget the point that Apple, on a year-to-date basis, it's already down about 2.5%. That kind of shocks people when I say that. Apple's actually down in the year. Yeah, Apple's down in the year. Tesla, it's down in the year. And we'll actually go a little bit more detail into some of the Magnificent Seven, but Apple is rather bothersome. Now, of course, you can point out, well, take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft's more than a hop, skip, and a jump away from like 400. I think 400 is probably a critical level. We're just not there yet. But there's no question, okay, that Apple, specifically at that 180 level, I'd watch it and watch it carefully. Moreover, if you look at auto expected moves, as I said, there's kind of a confluence over here hitting down to the lower edge of the auto expected move, which is about 179. Okay, it's right there. I mean, look, we are aligned to break through the 180 level. Okay, I would look for not only the 180, but you start going through 179, and this could actually be a little bit of a landslide event inside of Apple, which would really put some pressure not only to the NASDAQ, but back to the S&Ps. Onward from there, Nvidia. So Nvidia, you look at this all you want. You're like, I don't see any price action here that's critical. Mark my words. You've actually got a fairly critical level, okay, right in the 770 handle here. And I'm actually going to mark that up on the screen because I want you guys to kind of remember it. We've seen fireworks around this, right around that 770 level. Now, okay, how far down could we possibly go? Okay, from here, that's the big question mark. There's just no question that 770 holds tremendous weight inside of it. In fact, okay, to get a better feel for that, you want to look at like a 30-day 1 hour, 30-day 1 hour, and you can see us heavily aligned, all right, over the last couple of days, right around that 770 level. Moreover, if you actually go down to intraday, okay, intraday, 1 day, 1 minute, you'll see significant volume spikes, okay, just north of that 770 level. And again, I've actually gone back at a multitude of trading sessions. The irony is we actually hit it even in the overnight session. Volume actually spiked off of it. Pay attention very carefully, very carefully. 180 inside of Apple, 770 inside of none other than Nvidia, okay? And again, I am not done. Google. Google looks like it's already actually cracked through, meaning that Google right around that 140 level, it's through it. And by the way, Google on a year-to-date basis, also off by 1.5%. It's amazing to look at this marketplace. I'm serious about this. It's just absolutely amazing to look at the S&Ps that are up about 6% a year-to-date basis with the Magnificent Seven. Like, you know, if you had told me this at the beginning of the year, well, Apple will be down 2.5%. Okay. Google is effectively down 1.5%, and Tesla's still down by a cool, you know, almost 19%. Would you have thought that the marketplace could rally? Right? Well, again, it's brought to you by none other than Nvidia. Nvidia right now, it's everything in this marketplace, and I'm telling you, you will see some fireworks here as we start to cross that 770 level. All right, switching gears. As I was saying, we have PCE data coming out tomorrow, right? And PCE data, for those of you that don't speak like Fed geek, as I always call it, the PCE data, which is personal income, right, and outlays. And this is what the Fed, not me, not, you know, pundits out there, this is what the Fed has actually quoted a number of times as their most critical indicator. Now, you know, I could spend all day talking about who cares what the number is going to be. It does not matter because you can't control it. What you can do, though, is cruise over to the SPX. All right, and cruise over to the SPX, and you start looking at stuff like the SPX. You're like, oh, so what do you see in here? I'll tell you exactly what I see. All right, I'm going over here to the trade tab, okay, and I'm actually going to cruise out to tomorrow, and tomorrow it's leap year, right? There's actually a February 29th in here, and what I want you to see is right there, okay? That is, at this point, again, there's still 8 minutes left in the trading day, and that number can actually change, okay? But at this point in the game, this is what matters about PCE data. We're looking at plus or minus, okay, almost a $31 expected move. Now, that's a daily expected move. So that's just like, you know, price action between now and the end of day tomorrow. You go, well, you know, I don't really know what that means. Just to give you an example, today, the expected move is 22 bucks. Did we make it? Well, we ain't home yet, but we actually hit that in the overnight session. Nevertheless, to give you an idea, the volatility is considerably more than it was today, considerably more than it was, you know, on again on Tuesday or even Monday this week. So the data coming out obviously tomorrow is going to spark some pretty significant volatility. All I want you to get ready for, okay, is the fact that, yeah, several of the Magnificent Seven are hitting critical levels, right? They've butted up against these critical levels. We have the right catalyst over here, so let's light that fire, okay? The other aspect is, you know, I look around this market, and this is like the last thing I'll really leave you with. Look around this market. I'm having a tough time finding stuff that I would want to buy here, okay? And you know, I started looking at like financials, for example. You know, clearly. Looks like the Fed is going to have rates higher for longer. The financials, I mean, they've just been on a tear. But more specifically, when I'm saying like I'm having a difficult time with this, okay, I'm having a difficult time when I start looking at stuff like Wells Fargo, which, look, for argument's sake, this is a $40 stock, the beginning of November. It's a $40 stock at the beginning of November, hitting 56. Okay, I mean, really, it was closer to a $38 stock. I'm just rounding up in this case. You have to recognize, it's almost a $16 move, say a $16 move. And when I start looking at expected moves, okay, how long, and again, expected moves are over here on Thinkorswim on the right-hand side. How long does it typically take to make that kind of a move? You know, I got to go out almost 700 trading days to even see an expected move. That's of $18. Just to give you an idea, we've moved, all right? The kind of movement that you've seen in something like Wells Fargo normally takes 18 months, almost 2 years. That kind of price action has played out in what? 4 months, okay? Be a little concerned over here. I think we're actually seeing a big key like turnaround specifically inside of Wells Fargo. Moreover, yeah, I put a position on that one today. So let's go take a quick glance, some of the volume and open interest. There we are. Almost 2,000 contracts actually put on specifically inside of this in-out spread in Wells Fargo. Stock actually running around, but think about that over the days to come. I'll bring that up again on the weekend update. Think about it. What do you really want to buy inside of this marketplace? With that, thanks everybody for joining us here at TheoTrade. Get ready. Tomorrow, some fairly big catalysts in this marketplace. Have a great evening, everybody. Bye-bye.